Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we have news that is literally shaking the entire planet. Not an exaggeration, not clickbait. This is a fact. On May 14th, 2026, FIFA and Global Citizen officially announced to the world that BTS will perform at the 2026 FIFA World Cup final, alongside Madonna, alongside Shakira, at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey on July 19th, 2026. Dramatic pause, and not just as a side act or a quick cameo. They are headlining the very first halftime show in the entire history of the FIFA World Cup. Yes, you heard that right. For the first time in over 90 years of the world's greatest football tournament, FIFA has decided to bring in a Super Bowl-style halftime show. And they chose three names that are collectively shaking this planet: Madonna, Shakira, BTS. If your heart is beating fast right now, that is completely okay. Ours is too. So in this video, we are going to break down everything you need to know. From how this announcement happened, what it means for K-pop and Korean culture, why FIFA chose BTS, all the way to the absolute insane reaction from around the world. Don't go anywhere, because this is going to be a video you'll want to watch more than once. Alright, let's start from the beginning. How did all of this actually happen? On the morning of May 14th, 2026, the entertainment world woke up to a bombshell. FIFA and the global advocacy organization Global Citizen released an announcement video that was, honestly, a little silly, but also pure genius at the same time. Picture this. Chris Martin from Coldplay appears on screen alongside Elmo, Cookie Monster, Kermit the Frog, and Miss Piggy from the Muppets. They're all together, building the hype. And at one point in the video, they FaceTime BTS. Yes, FIFA announced the biggest halftime show in its history through a video featuring Muppets and Sesame Street puppets. And somehow, that felt absolutely perfect. The video exploded instantly. Within hours, the hashtags BTS World Cup Final, Madonna Shakira BTS, and FIFA 2026 halftime show were trending in almost every country in the world simultaneously. But wait, what exactly makes this announcement so historic? For more than 9 decades, the FIFA World Cup never had a halftime show. Unlike the American Super Bowl, which is already legendary for its spectacular intermission performances, the World Cup always kept its focus purely on football. No concerts, no big-name singers mid-match. Just the ball, the players, and the tactical madness on the pitch. Until now, FIFA decided that the 2026 final would be different. And they did not do it halfway. They chose 3 artists who collectively represent 3 different eras of global pop music history. Madonna, the queen of pop, who has been defining music for over 4 decades. Shakira, the Latin music icon who already has a deep emotional connection with the World Cup since Waka Waka in South Africa back in 2010. And BTS, 7 young men from South Korea who have completely reshaped the global music industry landscape. The show is scheduled to run for 11 minutes, short, tight, and guaranteed to be the 11 most watched minutes in television history. And there is one more thing that makes this even more meaningful. This entire show is not just about entertainment. It will support the FIFA Global Citizen Education Fund, an initiative aiming to raise $100 million to expand access to quality education and football for children around the world. $1 from every World Cup match ticket sold will be donated to this fund. Now, some of you might be wondering, why BTS? Weren't they literally just coming back from mandatory military service? That is exactly what makes all of this so extraordinary. Let's rewind for a moment and remember the journey BTS has taken to get to this point. In 2022, BTS announced a hiatus as a group. One by one, all 7 members, RM, Jin, Suga, Jhope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook, completed their mandatory military service as required by South Korean law. For millions of army around the world, this was a painful waiting period. Years of hoping, years of holding on. And then, on January 1st, 2026, Big Hit Music posted a short message on their Korean language account. It simply said, March 20th comeback confirmed. The internet absolutely broke. Within days, ARMY had organically pushed old BTS songs back up the charts. Run BTS climbed to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Onpanman from 2016 did the same thing. No marketing campaign, no algorithm tricks, just the raw, organized power of the most devoted fan community on Earth. Then on March 20th, 2026, BTS released their sixth studio album, Arirang. The name was not chosen randomly. Arirang is a traditional Korean folk song that is hundreds of years old, born during the Joseon dynasty. A song that has accompanied the Korean people through colonization, war, division, and resurrection. By choosing this name for their comeback album after 4 years of absence, BTS was delivering a very deep message. We are returning as our most honest selves. As Koreans, as BTS, and the world's response? Absolutely staggering. Arirang immediately became BTS's 7th consecutive album to debut at #1 on the Billboard 200. It reportedly sold 4 million copies on the very first day of release alone. The album topped charts in 115 countries and regions on Apple Music. The day after the album dropped, on March 21st, 2026, BTS held a free concert at Gwanghwamun Square in Seoul, live-streamed globally on Netflix. The result? An astonishing 18.4 million viewers worldwide watched it in real time, #1 in 24 countries. Then on April 9th, 2026, the Arirang World Tour officially began, described as the largest world tour ever mounted by any Korean artist. More than 85 shows, 34 cities, 23 countries. Every single ticket sold out within hours of going on sale. And now, at the absolute peak of this unprecedented momentum, FIFA is calling them to perform in front of the entire world. This is not a coincidence. This is the culmination of a truly extraordinary journey. Okay, now let's talk about just how massive the impact of this announcement has been. And I am not just talking about Twitter or TikTok, although those are already insane. I am talking about the stock market. The moment the announcement dropped, shares of HYB, the agency behind BTS and the largest entertainment company in South Korea, immediately surged by 7.2% in a single trading day. That means more than 700 billion Korean won, approximately $470 million US, was added to the company's market value because of one single announcement. Let that sink in for a second. One announcement about an 11-minute performance at a football final added nearly $500 million to a company's value. That is real, undeniable proof of the scale of BTS's influence on the world. Financial analysts from IBK Investment and Securities estimate that the BTS comeback in 2026, counting album sales, touring, merchandise, and related industries, could generate at least 2.9 trillion Korean won, or approximately $1.93 billion US, a figure being directly compared to Taylor Swift's $2 billion Eras tour earnings. On social media, the reaction was no less explosive. BTS and World Cup-related hashtags blew up simultaneously across every platform. Army from Indonesia, Brazil, the Philippines, the United States, the United Kingdom, France, everyone sharing the same joy in different languages. This was a moment that transcended language, that transcended national borders. Fans wrote with trembling hands, "I have been waiting for years for this, and now they will stand in front of the entire world." Others wrote, "BTS at the World Cup final with Madonna and Shakira. 2 years ago this was only a dream. And FIFA finally figured it out. If you want the world to watch, call BTS." From a media perspective, virtually every major outlet in the world, Billboard, Rolling Stone, The Washington Post, CNN, BBC, CNBC, The Guardian, every single one ran it as a headline story. This was not K-pop news. This was world news. And it deserves to be. Of course, BTS will not be alone on that stage. They will share the spotlight with two absolute legends of the music world. Madonna, the queen of pop, the woman who has redefined pop performance art for over 4 decades. She headlined the Super Bowl 2012 halftime show, one of the most iconic in Super Bowl history. And now she arrives at MetLife with fresh energy. Her new album, Confessions 2, the sequel to her 2005 masterpiece Confessions on a Dance Floor, drops on July 3rd, 2026. Its lead single, Bring Your Love, a duet with Sabrina Carpenter, was already debuted live at Coachella just last month. Madonna at any age always manages to surprise. And on the World Cup stage, she will prove once again why the word legend was made for her. Shakira, The Colombian powerhouse, who already has a deeply personal bond with the World Cup ever since Waka Waka, this time for Africa, became the official song of the 2010 World Cup in South Africa, and went on to become one of the most played sports anthems of all time. For 2026, she has also released a new official World Cup song, Die Die, a collaboration with Burna Boy. And the timing is almost poetically perfect. Shakira is currently on her Las Mujeres, You Know You're On World Tour 2026, with scheduled shows in New Jersey on July 14th and July 20th, perfectly surrounding the World Cup final date of July 19th. That is not a logistical coincidence. That is a perfectly engineered scenario. These three artists represent three different continents, three different genres, and three different generations, and together, they are going to create a moment that has never existed before. Picture that stage. 11 minutes. Three of the most powerful musical forces on Earth. A stadium packed with more than 80,000 people, and billions of eyes on television sets around the entire globe. Now let us talk about the bigger picture. Because this is not just about BTS. This is about a cultural shift that has been building for years, and is now reaching its peak. 10 years ago, if someone had said that a K-pop group would headline the halftime show of the FIFA World Cup final alongside Madonna and Shakira, many people would have laughed. But here we are. And this is not luck. This is the result of years of relentless hard work, of uncompromising quality, of the most militant and loyal fan community on the planet, and of a massive cultural trend that has changed the way the world consumes pop culture. We are talking about Hallyu, the Korean wave, which has been flowing into every corner of the world for over 2 decades, amplified by the global success of K-dramas like Squid Game and Crash Landing on You, amplified by Parasite winning the Academy Award for Best Picture, amplified by K-beauty now sitting on store shelves in virtually every country. BTS is the sharpest edge of a culture that is experiencing the greatest moment in its history. And it is not just BTS making waves at this World Cup. FIFA's opening ceremony lineup also includes Lisa from Blackpink, another K-pop icon performing on the world's biggest sporting stage. The message is clear: Korean pop culture is no longer a niche phenomenon. It is a global force. For international fans everywhere, for every army who held on through the long years of waiting, this moment on July 19th is the moment where you get to say to the world, the group we have loved from the very beginning now stands in front of everyone. And more than that, it is proof that music, language, and culture know no borders. BTS sings lyrics in Korean. Shakira sings in Spanish. And both of them are equally capable of touching the hearts of millions of people who do not speak a single word of either language. That is the true power of art. For those curious about the broader context of the 2026 World Cup, let us take a quick look. The 2026 FIFA World Cup is the first edition to feature an expanded format of 48 teams, up from the 32 we have known for decades. It is being hosted across 3 nations simultaneously: the United States, Canada, and Mexico, with a total of 16 stadiums. MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, which will host the final, is one of the largest and most modern stadiums in North America, with a capacity of over 82,000 spectators. The opening matches kicked off on June 11th, 2026, in Mexico, and the entire tournament builds to its climax, the final on July 19th, which will now also serve as the stage for the most anticipated halftime show in sports history. The opening ceremonies, meanwhile, already painted a picture of the cultural ambition behind this tournament. Katy Perry is headlining the opening ceremony in Los Angeles, alongside Future, Tyla, Lisa, and Anita. Another lineup that would have seemed unimaginable to predict even 5 years ago. FIFA President Gianni Infantino put it plainly: this World Cup is designed to celebrate not just football, but the cultural diversity of the nations hosting it. And the music choices at every stage of this tournament reflect that vision with remarkable clarity. Now for the most exciting question of all: what are we actually going to see on that MetLife stage on July 19th? BTS themselves gave a statement that was brief but full of meaning about the purpose of this performance. Music is the universal language of hope and harmony. In 11 tightly packed minutes, every single second will count. Fans have already started speculating wildly. Which songs will they perform? Will BTS bring tracks from the new Erarang album? Or will they reach for the classics like Dynamite, Butter, or DNA? Songs that can be instantly recognized even by someone who has never heard of BTS before in their life? One thing seems almost certain. This will be a performance designed to introduce BTS to a global audience far wider than anything they have ever faced before. Because the World Cup final is watched by over 1 billion people around the world. For many of those viewers, people who may never have encountered BTS before, July 19th could be their very first introduction. And we all know, a first encounter with BTS rarely stops there. Beyond the music, we already have a sense of what their production can look like. The Erarang World Tour features an immersive 360-degree stage setup, choreography that makes stadiums lose their minds, and technical production that is consistently several levels above industry standard. Now imagine all of that combined with the scale of MetLife Stadium and the full resources of a global citizen production. The halftime show itself is being co-curated by Coldplay's Chris Martin, who previously produced the Club World Cup final halftime show last year, headlined by Doja Cat, J Balvin, and Thames. He knows how to make a moment land. With BTS, Madonna, and Shakira, he has more raw material to work with than at any point in his career. If there is one prediction we can make with total confidence, this moment will be remembered as one of the most historic live entertainment performances of the 21st century. Alright, everyone, that is everything you need to know about the announcement that has the whole world talking. BTS, Madonna, Shakira, MetLife Stadium, July 19th, 2026. The FIFA World Cup Final. The first halftime show in the history of the tournament. This is not a dream. This is real, and we are going to witness it together. If you are ARMY, you already know how long the journey has been. From a debut that no one saw coming, through struggles that were never easy, record after record broken, stage after stage conquered, and now, the biggest stage that has ever existed is waiting for them. Congratulations, ARMY. You deserve this moment. And if this is your very first time hearing about BTS today, welcome. A very exciting journey is waiting for you. Before this video ends, we have a few things to ask of you. First, hit like on this video if this news made your heart race. Second, subscribe, because we will keep you updated with everything leading up to July 19th. Set list speculation, behind-the-scenes rehearsal leaks, reactions from the football players who will be watching live, and so much more. Third, leave a comment below. Tell us which BTS song you most want to see performed on the World Cup stage. We are genuinely curious about your answers. And finally, share this with every group chat, every friend who needs to know about this, because this is the kind of news that deserves to travel. And of course, make sure to hit the notification bell so you never miss a single video from us. I'll see you in the next one. And July 19th, we're watching this together. Purple Heart.